Okay, here we are in Flux again. And I'm going to how to inpaint in Flux, because it's quite tricky to inpaint in Flux. And we don't have any inpainting models or anything like that. So now I always inpaint in a slightly different way than most people, because I find the standard way of inpainting where you have a noise and area in the latent space and then generate them. I always think that's a pretty crap way of doing it, really. It's quick and easy, but it often goes wrong, and I think people find it pretty frustrating. And with Flux, of course, it's even more frustrating because you know they always do something easy in those videos. They always do, you know, they always change your face a bit or whatever. So and the traditional one is hair. So I thought what we'll do, we'll change someone's hair, and but we're not going to do easy hair. We're going to do difficult hair. We're going to do a blonde to a redhead, and we're not going to change anything else. We're only going to change the hair. So what we have here is, and this is a process to be carried out when you've finished your image. So this is the final render, and I thought, oh my god, I want her hair to match her dress. So there she is, looking very lovely. I don't know who her friends are, but so what we want to do is change her change her hair only, and leave everything else the same. So what we do, we cut out her and her hair, as you see here. Pretty simple. So we've just got a image crop. This is a very standard Flux compact setup here. Nothing special. I'll put this workflow in, but it is just for this purpose, this workflow. So it's very simple. So here we are. Here's our lady. And what we've done, we've cropped her out, so we've got all the hair. And the important thing is, and the thing that goes wrong with inpainting, is that the model has no context. So we've got to give the model some clues that she's got red hair. And this isn't as hard as you might expect. So what we want to do first is as you start any inpainting, really, we make a mask. So we open her in the very horrible mask editor, and we draw a mask. This mask does not have to be very good. It has to cover all the bits of hair, but you'll see later the reason why I say this. It doesn't have to be terribly good. And I should be doing this with my Wacom tablet, not my mouse. So you have to excuse my slightly slow meander down through her lovely locks. Now she's got white hair, just to make it incredibly difficult. And I think that'll do. You can have a couple of goes at this anyway. There might be some bits that don't quite fit. But hopefully by the end of the video you've seen how it works. So there it is. Her lovely locks are done. So what we need to do is to make something to tell the model we want red hair. We're going to put it in the prompt, obviously, but we need a bit more than a prompt, because you're not going to prompt red hair out of white hair. It's not going to happen. Or it's not going to happen except with a very high denoise, and then it won't fit. So what we do, we've done that, and what we've got here is an image prep area, and it's taking this mask, and what it's doing is making noise from the image. So it's just covering, it's just putting noise over her. I should have this color correct. This color correct is set to make it warm, but so we've got the noise, we've got the mask, so all I have to do is click go. Check I've not got everything else turned on. I have. We don't want everything else turned on. Otherwise it will run through without the proper mask and everything. So we want to see what happens here. So what has happened? Look, her hair has gone red. And her hair has gone red, and look, it's all noised as well. And that's using that mask down here. And all I've done is I've made the noise here. And let's just take this straight across to there for a moment. That's the noise without any colour, if you see that. And this is the noise with the colour. There you go. So what you do, you make noise here, noise from image. You can adjust how bright or dark it is. I mean, if it was darker, you might want to make it lighter. But here you've got a little bit of control over the noise. I would leave this set. I've got this so that at a noise level that works pretty well. So I'd leave that set. But you can change the colours here. So, you know, I've made it very hot. I'll give her blue hair. There you go, blue hair. We can give her green hair. Oh, that's red hair again. But using these rather... oh, there's the green hair. I knew there was green in hair in here somewhere. You can alter the hue here and the temperature here. It's not the most intuitive way of changing colours. And there may be a node that does it more conveniently. I don't know. If there is a node, you can recolour more easily. You can use colour. Tint is quite nice. I quite often use tint, which is quite nice. But this has all tonal controls in it, which I find nice. So hear that? Right. So we've got, this is our image we're using for image twin. So what we've got to do now is give her red hair up here, beautiful horn, and keep this simple. So you've got a bit of a, you don't really need a much. This is the Laura that made the original image, so we need to have that in there. So what we do now is to run that and see what happens. The denoise is not enough on this probably. Okay, so what we got? Oh, we got quite nice hair. I think I would give it a little bit more denoise than that. We'll give it 55. Ah, that's quite nice. I think I preferred the 45 actually. Let's go to 49. And at this point, you can of course click through a few seeds. I think I prefer that. I think I prefer that. That looks nice. We now need to get her red hair into the previous image. I think the face has changed too much on this, so I want to just move the hair across. And with this we use a preview bridge and we simply mask her hair again. There's a reason I do this, so I'll have the earring as well I think. There's a reason I do this in Mask Editor here rather than using the mask I made previously, in that this mask I can fine tune to drop it in. I can fine tune, I can mess with it as many times as I want until I got it just right. Whereas I can't change the other mask, because if I change the other mask, the whole lot will rerun. So I need the last bit there. So I need a second mask, which, as you see, is straightforward enough. I do hate Mask Editor; it's the most clumsy. It's the one bit of comfy I really think needs a revamp. Okay, we'll save that to the node. That's pretty good. And then we have the last bit. And this simply just puts it back in position. There's a few things. Right, so there's her hair. And as you see, it's pretty perfect. Lighting is correct. Everything is correct. There's not much more to say, really. Sorry, I didn't expect it to work perfectly. I expected to have to go back and adjust things. So the great thing with this is, of course, I can adjust this again. So I can do this as many times as I want. So I can have a little bit more of that. That looked a bit funny. I could have this collar. There you go. Change her collar. And there he is with a different collar. Doesn't quite fit there. You can make it fit though. I need to have a little bit extra there, a little bit extra there. And so this is why we do the second mask. We've opened this in Mask Editor. We need a little bit of her neck and a little bit of her neck there. And the great thing with this is that you can tweak it as much as you want. As you see, that's pretty much perfect now. You've got to have another little bit there, but very fine detail. And that is pretty much it. What we've got here is grow mask with blur, so I can increase the blur radius, which will almost certainly, I can expand the mask a bit, increase the blur radius, which will correct this actually if I take that up to 23 maybe. There you are. That mended her neck. That mended everything actually. So you can control, and the reason I do it this way is you just have so much more control. I can also, fun and games, I can change the colour of her hair. I can make it redder. It's a bit too red. Anyway, I think you get my point. I can, and I think it could be a bit more contrasting. That fits in better. Anyway, so I think that's it. I think I've covered everything there. I don't think there's anything. So you can control the colour of your InPaint here, final colour. You can control, the size. You can control how the mask is activated there. So there we go. InPainting for Flux. Now, obviously, the bigger thing you want to change, the harder it be. So you could, if you wanted to change this bloke's face into a wardrobe, then it's harder. It can be done this way, but it gets more tricky, and again you'd have to make a shape of noise over him and then try and prompt a wardrobe. Probably not worth bothering. Okay, so this is simple InPainting for a small discrete area. Okay, thanks for your attention. I hope that was useful and interesting.